Should you turn on Advantage Plus Creative? Should you turn it off sometimes? Let's explore that today. So I also wrote a blog post about this that goes into great detail. You can go to johnlimber.com/creative to read that. All right, so let's dive in. Within Ads Manager, now understand that Advantage Plus Creative will only apply, or certain enhancements from Advantage Plus Creative will only apply depending on the objective, the format, whether it's single image, single video, carousel, catalog, whatever, and the types of enhancements that are available will depend. All right. Now I know that Advantage Plus Creative gets a bad rap, maybe partially for good reason. I think the transparency in the past has not been good in terms of seeing how effective these enhancements are. But what you can do now is preview how your ad will look according to these various enhancements. Additionally, you should understand how this works, okay? So for the vast majority of these enhancements, they're not going to be applied universally for every version of your ad. This will only be a version that some people will see if Meta believes it will make it more likely that it will lead to better results. So it can be specifically regarding things like they believe that this individual person will respond more favorably if this enhancement is made. All right, so let's walk through this. Here's an example of creating an ad, and make sure you've already uploaded the image, maybe even customized it by placement, added your primary text variations, headline, description, whatever. And then you'll see under the Advantage Plus Creative section, the various enhancements and whether you've optimized them. Go ahead and click Edit. So we can now preview these, which is really helpful. So you can turn them all off if you want. You can also filter by all optimizations or standard enhancements. Just so you know, just a handful of these are standard enhancements. I guess fewer of them would go beyond the standard enhancement. And they will, first of all, show you your original creative, because again, a version of this will still exist that's original, that has not been touched, and it will be distributed. So you can scroll through to see this in various placements as well. Now, music. Music is a big one that I know a lot of people struggle with. The main thing is this, 3 songs will be chosen for you. And you can even go ahead and see what's been selected and play them, decide if that's relevant to you. And for each of these for different placements, because again, the placement's gonna matter. This isn't gonna be applied everywhere. Prime examples would be stories and reels, okay? Because these are images otherwise that you're uploading. If this was a video, it's not gonna impact your ad with music. But you can also change the music, which could be helpful. So you can decide that you want to, first of all, turn it off entirely, or make sure it's not automatically updated. And then you can search for artists, genres, or keywords. You can even do a filter by tempo and mood. Now, this would be useful if for a specific client brand who's maybe sensitive to the type of music that is applied, that you find some safe music. And then so in the future, you can automatically throw those in instead of allowing Meta to automatically. Now, typically, Meta will find popular music that they believe will lead to better results. So just keep that in mind. And really, that's the main key here across the board. These should only be applied if it will lead to better results. So the transparency sucks. You're not going to really know when all this is applied. But that's one of the deciding factors when determining whether or not to actually turn these on. It shouldn't be used against you, okay? So music is one. Another, relevant comments. So actually for each of these, just so you know, you can turn it off individually when you expand. So Meta will display the most relevant comment below your ad on Facebook and Instagram. So I don't have an actual example of that because we don't have any comments, but it will highlight that comment. Now, this is something that you may have to experience to determine whether it's useful. I leave it on, But if you ever run into a situation where it's like, holy cow, they're highlighting this really bad comment, this negative comment, you don't want that, obviously. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Image filter, in this case, and for any of these, by the way, you can hover over the tooltip to give you a better idea of what's actually going on there. Meta will apply minor filters. So these are artistic filters to your image when likely to improve performance. Again, we just got some stock image examples, very minor enhancement there. I have no issue with doing that. 3D animation is interesting. So basically it takes an image and turns it into a video for reels and stories and adds some movement, right? So it's zooming in and out. That's all this is. You can see versions at these other placements as well. Actually, this is on Instagram, so not even stories or reels. But again, it won't be globally, universally applied to all placements all the time, just sometimes when it thinks it can get you better results. It's kind of silly, I guess, in a way, but maybe that movement will help your results. So it's worth experimenting with. Image template is what gives advertisers the most pause. This looks like garbage. All right, let's be frank. They add this solid block and it puts your headline here in text and it just looks bad. Now, maybe ugly ads work sometimes. That's what we're told. Maybe that's part of the issue here or part of the reason for this, but man, look at that font. That's just awful. Well, know that you can, and I don't think this was available before, adjust fonts and colors. So if you click that, you can move the text style from automatic to selecting the individual font. You can also change the background color, and I think it automatically pulls in some colors there. But look, I've messed with this the best I can. It still looks like garbage. I also don't think that you can change the text color. It's just the text style and the background color. So if you turn this one off, I would completely understand. I am not a fan of the image template. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off right there. But again, shouldn't be used against you. But it's, especially with clients, it's jarring if they ever see it because it looks terrible. And especially if you've got something where someone designed it to look a certain way, that could be problematic. Visual touch-ups, really minor. What we have here is automatically adjusting the brightness, color, and aspect ratio. So this is one I just leave on generally. But we've got versions here that it's more than that. So this is the aspect ratio, sorry, but we're gonna see this again. I don't really know what the variation is there. It looks the same. This one, it's kind of in between the tall and the square. To me, these are all reasonable, right? This is another kind of brightness, contrast type of adjustment. I'll leave that on. Text improvements. In this case, they may move basically where the headline is and move it into the primary text. Maybe it would be the description. And you have to decide whether that is something you're okay with. Again, I don't see it as a major thing to experiment with. Expand image. This is the one where I don't really understand what the difference is between this and that other one for aspect ratio. But if you can take up more real estate without uploading a different image, I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think there are any significant updates otherwise from video. Another couple from carousel ads. You can add a profile end card, which really isn't even an enhancement, where it puts your profile at the end if you want to turn that on. Beyond that, the dynamic description, where it'll dynamically choose when to show your carousel description, and sometimes it won't. And then highlighting the highest performing carousel at the front. That's it. And there might be a couple others in here that I didn't have a preview for, but overall, it's nice that you can preview it. And if you've got sensitive clients or a company you work for that's really sensitive about branding, right? It could be helpful to go through that first before approving. Most of these are pretty minor. And again, they shouldn't be used unless they can help you. So for more on this, go to johnloomer.com/creative. Otherwise, let me know what you do. All right, take care.